G'day, guys. Welcome to Beyond the Finish Line, the podcast for runners of every pace, every distance, and every goal. This is episode 50, the final episode for 2025. If you had have told Georgia and I that at the start of the year we would record 50 episodes and potentially hit 50,000 downloads, I don't think either of us would believe you. Georgia, how you doing, mate?
I am well, thank you, Matt. I'm so happy to be here. 50 episodes seems so wild, but I'm so proud of us. I cannot believe it. I'm so happy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm ecstatic. The last episode of the year, I'm super pumped to do it. And I'm also excited just to have a little holiday. This is like kind of the last job I have to do for the year almost. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped to do it and share sort of. We thought this episode would be a bit more of a recap of the year, favorite episodes, favorite questions, go over some of like the cool things that we did for the year.
Bit more chatty this episode, guys.
Yeah, rather than it being a hardcore coaching style episode.
Give Matt's brain a little bit of a rest.
Yeah.
Some time off from having to coach and also coach on here. So we're going to go through some of the fun stuff that we did this year. And I still can't believe it's been a year pretty much. And a year since its conception, because really we were talking about this time last year.
Yeah. And I think November, December last year, I was like, we should do this.
Yeah, and I was like, no.
That was exactly how it went.
I know, and here we are. I think I more was just like, no one wants to listen to me. So, yeah.
I mean, I get it for sure. Like when I started my first podcast, the triathlon podcast, I just like, as long as I listen to it, I'm happy. Like that was my whole thought process was like, I just want to talk to people. And if no one else listens to it, I don't care because I get the information. So then I just kind of took that mentality into this. I was like, as long as like Performance Project athletes listen to it, I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's true. And look, we have had so many amazing listeners. So I think it's even one listener is worth it. So
exceeded expectations, 50,000x. Legitimately.
I know, because when you start recording a podcast, you don't Matt had an idea, but I had no idea what the stats meant. You know, you see all your favorite podcasts and stuff, say 1 million downloads and stuff like that, big, huge podcast and stuff, and you're like, you got no idea. But when you actually realize how hard it is to, get like 10,000 and stuff like that, I think, it's really cool. So very grateful.
That's one of my favorite stats for us. It took us 6 months to hit 10,000-ish, give or take. And then I think that was like end of June. And then between June and December, we're not going to jinx it because we haven't hit 50K yet, but we've done like an additional 39,000 downloads in the same period of time.
It's absolutely wild. Our listenership has grown so much. Even our following over on Instagram has grown. It's so amazing. So we've got big things planned for next year. We're so excited. Bit of housekeeping though. We had taken a couple of weeks off, guys, because we need a break. We have recorded an episode every single week now for nearly 52 weeks. We're recording this one on Christmas Eve because Matt and I are both going away. And so we're going to take 2 weeks off, guys. I'm sure you can go back and listen to some of the back catalogue. There's some epic episodes that we're going to talk about today that we think you should go back and listen to. But for the time being, we will be back. Our first episode will go back on the 21st of January. We, as I said, we're having a couple of weeks off. We're going to hang out with our family, hang out with our partners, and not be on mic, rest our voices. And then, we'll be back to chat about all of the things next year.
Yeah, and I think that kind of works well because I think we started the podcast like late January from memory.
We did. It was the day before my birthday, which my birthday is the same week. So it'll be my birth week episode.
Oh, you're one of those people. Samantha's like that. The day after my birthday, and my birthday's like in December.
I still don't know the date, guys.
That's why I deliberately said it like that. The day after my birthday, she's like, okay, now it's my birthday. And she's not till the end of January.
Oh, see, this is why Sam and I get along so well, because we're the same person.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yes, that is, my birthday's the 23rd. I don't care if anyone knows. I love my birthday.
I do not.
So yes, we did record last year just before my birthday. That's how I remember. So it'll be, a year and we'll be back on mic. So super exciting. If you guys have any episode recommendations that you want to hear from us in the new year, please jump into our DMs. We'll make sure, as always, we make note of them all and try and touch on them all throughout the year.
I think that's something Georgia and I are definitely going to focus on next year, is being a little bit more organized with what we're going to talk about and take what you guys want more into consideration, because sometimes Georgia and I will literally jump on mic and be like, what are we talking about? we have no idea.
Yeah, we do have a list of episodes that we want to get through, and in that list is a lot of like suggestions from people who've DM'd me or DM'd the podcast, and we always just like pick one on the day. We're like, okay, here's 3 options. What do you feel like?
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like we have to kind of do it that way because we can't force, a square peg into a round hole. Like we can't just be like, let's talk about this. We're like, I really don't think I have the brain space.
Some of our best episodes have been like, what do you want to talk about? And we've gone, this. And we've just spoken. No idea, no thought process on it, just go.
Yeah, there was a couple of episodes ago and I remember we jumped off mic and we were both like, yes, that was amazing. Like the energy was really good. And a few people had messaged me being like, I could tell you're feeling a little bit better because the energy was really good. And So thank you for sticking with us, guys, for the high and the low episode.
I think that's the other thing about it too, that people just saying on the energy that people might not register is like, because podcast is obviously audio, if you are not on, it can be a really tough listen, like no matter who the host is and no matter what the podcast is. So like sometimes when you're just a little bit run down, like it can be, it's such a different vibe in the episode for the listener and for the host.
Yeah, definitely. And that could be to our detriment that we do, record every single week, but we like consistency. We don't like, as much as we have seasons in our life, we don't want seasons on the podcast. We just want episodes that you guys can jump into. So
100%.
Yeah. But gosh, there'd be some funny moments listening back to some of our first ever episodes. I still don't have the courage to go back and click on like any of the first 8 with all of my audio issues. And just before we jumped on mic, we thought we had some audio issues, but we found them out. That was fine. It wasn't me. It was Matt.
It definitely wasn't me. It was Georgia. I have video proof.
So yeah,
actually, can we Georgia, can you make this a poll? Can you clip this and make this a poll?
Yeah.
I have an idea that Georgia and I should go to one of our houses and watch the first episode on YouTube and do like a live reaction. Do you guys want to see like the painful watch party of us rewatching the first episode? Watch
it on YouTube and have to watch us just scrambling and
like, what are you saying? Don't talk like that.
I know. I really want to record some of the first ever episodes because the context and like the actual episode is really good, what it's about, but just the audio is so shit.
I think we put so much more we put so much more pressure on ourselves on the first episodes to be like, actually have talking points, where now we're very comfortable just being like, we'll work it out.
Yeah. And look, the first 4 episodes, I didn't have a mic either. So we were running.
Oh, that's right.
We were running off my little Rode mic that I use for like vlogging and stuff. So it wasn't very good either. So I didn't have headphones. Like there was so many different things we didn't have. And, we stepped it up this year, bought the equipment, bought all the new stuff so that we could record clearer audio for you guys. There was so many mistakes. I didn't realize like when you get a mic, you can't have the cord all coiled up because that then cuts out your audio. So there's a couple of episodes where my audio cuts in and out. But look, just like endurance sports, we learn as we go. And I think we've come a long way since January this year.
Right. Absolutely. It was funny. I had a consult with someone the other day and they were like, they got the podcast referred to them. And whoever referred said, go back and listen to the first episode so you like filled in and work your way back. Anyway, so she listened to the first half a dozen or 10 or whatever it was. And then I think it was the dark side of sports and the how to get fast in 10K came out.
Yeah.
And she was like, I have to go and listen to those. And she listened to it and she was like, oh my God, it's a completely different podcast. She was like shocked. She was like, what's going on? There's an intro. They know what they're talking about. Like, what is happening?
I know the intro was one of the hardest things to kind of get going. We had a bit of a consult with a producer who went through our podcast for us, and he kind of gave us some tips on, you know, what we could do to improve, just some small things just to improve. And he was like, you need an intro.
I'm still not 100% on the intro wagon. I think like we could just talk, but
Nah, absolutely not. I love the intro as much as we both sometimes, you know, stuff it up.
Oddly, yeah, the thing that you struggle with most out of everything is doing the intro, but it's the thing you love the most.
I know. I'm a perfectionist. I like it to be nice for you guys. No, I love the intro, and I'm kind of a weirdo who likes to listen to the intro. I'm like, yes, nailed it. But you can definitely tell that I run out of breath.
Yeah, George, you got to breathe.
Yeah, forget to breathe through the intro. So yeah, he let us know, like, you know, do the intro and just some stuff with what we're putting in the description to help you guys out when you want to listen to the episodes. But I will poll the intro as well. Maybe everyone hates the intro and they just want to go back to the OG.
I do think people like the intro. I think it's just more a me thing because the podcast I listen to, there's no intro. They just like start talking.
Yeah. Whereas all of my favorite podcasts, shout out Shameless Media, they have an intro, and I could just say their intro in my head now. It's like a little bop, and I'm like, yay, my podcast is starting. So yeah, I think I like the intro. Matt doesn't like the intro. We'll see what you guys say because there's another poll we need to do.
Yeah.
I'll add it to the list, guys. I'll add it to the list. All right.
And guys, we're not gonna do highs and lows this week because George and I literally recorded episode 49 less
Yesterday.
than 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
So we're not going to bore you with that. We're going to talk about all of our favorite moments, learnings, things that didn't go well, things that did go well from 2025, and just sort of take you on the journey that was the first year beyond the finish line.
I know, so exciting. Let's get into it.
Yeah. All right. So we've done a list of questions, and we think each question will be a bit of a talking point, and we can sort of have a bit of a back and forth. So Georgia, what was your favorite episode of 2025? Let's start with the big one.
Well, this will come as no surprise to everyone. My favorite episode is episode 33. Georgia goes sub 4 recap of Sydney Marathon. That was just such a joy to do. I don't think it would have been a joy if I didn't get sub 4. So it was a fun episode to record. I was so happy, and it was nice even just hearing you, Matt, say that you were proud of me, you know, things like that.
I mean, you did work 18 months for it, so
yes, I did.
I got to show a little bit of emotion.
Yes, if you guys want an insight into my year, episode 33, definitely the highlight of my year. So go back and check that one out. What was your favorite episode, Matt?
I wrote the recap episode, so my sub 10 failed sub 10 and your sub 4.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of put the whole Sydney Marathon series into that, everything we did on the lead up. I love all of the fan question episodes because it's just coaching.
Yeah.
But then like my personal favorite, my absolute top was like the dark side of endurance sports. I thought that was a really good episode, and like that really, I thought we hit a lot of really good talking points. We got a lot of great feedback, and it resonated with a lot of people. So for a lot of different reasons, I thought that was my favorite episode.
Yeah, and I think our favorite episodes to record are your listener questions because it's so nice being able to help you guys out, and we can
100%.
pack in so many questions, and they're just fun to record. So
yeah.
I think definitely I had to pick one that's my favorite to record, it's that type of episode.
I think that was the angle I was going for. My favorite to record are the recaps and the fan questions, but then my favorite episode was Dark Side.
Yeah, Dark Side was a good one, and I had lots of feedback on that as well. People being like, wow, it's like so interesting to see, you know, different sides of you guys, and it was nice. It's nice to be vulnerable sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. Have you got these written down, Georgia, or am I going through them?
No, you can go through them. I'm the one who has to read out the questions every week, so this is your turn, my friend.
What moment from the pod I fucked that one up. What moment from the pod this year made you laugh?
Now, Matt's going to probably know what I'm going to say.
I think we might actually have the same answer.
Probably. And I don't know what episode number it is, but you guys have to go and find it. And I'm sure you'll be able to find it pretty quickly. But we had an episode, I reckon, 10 weeks ago or something. And, maybe, yeah, about 11 weeks ago. So you can probably go figure it out. And basically, the episode didn't upload properly to Spotify. And I had a couple of people messaging me saying, hey, girl, like, just letting you know the last 8 minutes or something didn't work. Like, it's just your audio. I was like, that's strange. So I hadn't quite finished the episode yet. So I went back to it. And there was zero context whatsoever, but all I say right at the end is, that's showbiz, baby. And still to this day, people message me and say, that's showbiz, baby. I don't even remember what the context was and why. But I definitely didn't say it first, but the fact that Matt's audio
my audio
working.
had cut out, and then you had said it in response to something I had said, but I can't remember what the context was.
I know, because even if we can't even go back and listen to it because it just was corrupted, so there's nothing we could do about it. But thank you to everyone who listens to the end, because they were the ones who told me. But oh my God, I was so embarrassed. And now it's just out there in the ether forever.
We should get a shirt that says "That's showbiz, baby" Beyonce's one.
On the merch.
Yeah.
Oh God, was that your favorite too?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I
Oh.
couldn't. I even just said bring it up in conversation to Georgia now. We'll just be talking about something. I'm like, yeah, that's showbiz.
My friends honestly still say it to me, or they'll pull up the audio and be like, that's showbiz, baby.
I should clip that.
I know, I should have found the actual episode and played it on mic for you guys, but you can go back and find it.
I was gonna mess with you, Georgia, and I was just gonna play episode 1 into the microphone, but I thought you'd have a bloody conniption.
I'm still too scared to listen. I almost feel like we should do it right at the end. So yes, that's my favorite.
Yeah, me
moment.
too. What episode surprised you the most?
This episode I didn't think would do well, and I was really stressed about it coming out because I was worried with the title, and I was like,
we picked the same one again.
oh my gosh.
Guys, I sent Georgia the list of questions 15 minutes before we recorded, and I wasn't even going to write down answers, but she's like, write them down. And I was like, okay. And we happened to have a few overlap. We didn't share answers or anything. So
No, we definitely haven't. He literally sent it to me while I was laying in bed this morning, and I wrote the answers, and then I got ready and I sat on mic. So, but yeah, I honestly thought I was really stressed about the name of this episode, and it's episode 32, Calm the Fuck Down, Your Race Week Survival Guide. And it was the week of Sydney Marathon.
Week or two before, yeah.
Yeah, I think, or the week before, yeah. And I was really stressed that people would think Matt was dismissing people's feelings. And I was like, no, we can't say calm the fuck down.
Dismiss feelings?
And I was like, what if people think that, we're just saying that, calm the fuck down, it's not even a big deal. And he was like, no, Georgia, no one's going to think that.
Yeah.
And thankfully, you guys absolutely loved that episode.
Yeah,
that is one of the
slapped.
episodes. Yeah, most people will say to us that it's one of their favorite episodes. So if you're ever coming into a race, or, it's the week before a big race, something like that, go and listen to that episode, because even though it was recorded for Sydney Marathon, I think it's super helpful for...
It's just general race week. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just your race week survival guide for any race. It's not necessarily just Sydney Marathon.
Yeah. I had a second one because I thought you might have picked the same one. And mine was the response of the trail running episodes. Number one, how well they did in the downloads. But number two, how many people reached out and were like, okay, like if I want to start trail running, how do I, like where should I go? What events? Like, can you help me? So I thought that was like really interesting, because I do think like the majority of our listeners are road runners, obviously. But the amount of them that were thinking like, oh, yeah, I'd go do a trail run or maybe do an ultra one day was awesome. Yeah,
and you gave some really great tips in those episodes, just even about trying to find a safe trail run. Mm-hmm. There was really great safety tips, so much so that I even went and tried to do a trail run.
Yeah, and Georgia ignored all of the tips.
I forgot water, guys. I went too late in the day.
Tip 1, bring water.
And yeah, so don't do me, but that was the trail running ones are really good because they're super helpful. And if you are wanting to get into trail running, Matt did give actually very helpful tips.
I think we did 2 or 3 episodes on trail running, and they're all like, listen, if you want to think about trail running, listen to those 3 episodes. 2 episodes, whatever it is, 2 or 3
Two,
episodes. Like,
yeah.
put them together. They'll do you good. Um,
I'm trying to find the trail running episodes. I can't remember what.
It was straight after Sydney Marathon, so it'd be
There
early
we go.
September.
Yeah, episode 34, Trail Running 101, a road
Mhm.
runner's guide to hitting the hills.
Mhm.
And episode 35, Not Your Average Long Run, Inside the World of Ultra Running. So that one's just all about ultra marathon running.
Mhm.
And then we also touched on, Matt's COSI 100.
Mhm.
We had kind of the week before that and the week after that, which is also very trail focused as well.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is super cool.
Yeah, I would say like the 2 that Georgia mentioned, that's kind of like that's your bulk of it. If you want to try trail running, listen to those 2 and then go give it a crack.
Also, you can hear how much Matt loves trail running in those episodes because he's like super elated in all of them.
Yeah. Energy was high.
Yeah.
And George's like, let's talk about feelings. I'm like,
I'm like a therapist. Oh dear. All right, what's the next one?
So this one's hard for me because I sometimes can't remember what's on the podcast and what's my work. Because they're all just like, I just get questions from everyone.
Yes,
so
that's hard.
I am going to provide a framework for mine, and that'll help listeners. But I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite listener question?
I really struggle with this because we get so many amazing listener questions. And we get a lot of people I get a lot of people in my own personal DMs as well as I read the ones in the business account. And then if it's ones that I can't answer, I ask Matt to have a look at them. But a lot of people do message me and they're like, oh, could you change my name or something like that, which is really sweet. But definitely this year we've had some incredible listener questions. I think listeners have been super vulnerable with us, which, is so lovely. And people aren't afraid to ask questions. No one's really feels like anything's a silly question. And I just love that people have said to us, thank you so much for making a podcast that's inclusive. And I don't feel like any of my questions are silly and I can ask a really basic beginner question and you'll treat it like it's any other question. So unfortunately, no specific one. We did love the question we had not long ago. Again, I can't even remember his name. And he had a really nice long question that gave us lots of context. He was a 60-year-old runner. I thought that was really cool because he really gave us the whole story and we could answer that properly. So I loved that. We love context questions because it helps us answer it properly.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, I love when listeners give us a lot of context, even if it is for a basic question, beginner question.
Yeah.
My second favorite type is when someone has listened to the podcast, might not have even been their question. They've taken in what you and I have said, and then they've messaged me on the Finish Line or Performance Project and gone, hey, you said this. Can you, I didn't understand this bit, or can you go further into it?
Yeah.
So I like it when someone actually listens to it, takes it in, registers it, and then asks a follow-up question. I really enjoy it because that's like coaching.
Yeah. They are really great. Or when people are just like, I want to ask another question that applies to me after something you've asked. And we do get those a fair bit. So we try to write them all down and make sure that we answer them pretty quickly. But it is really great when, like the other day, the episode that just came out today, there's a question from Erin. And then I loved being able to message Erin back being like, hey, Erin, we answered your question this week. Jump on Wednesday and listen, and your answer will be right there. And
that's
I know
a cool,
she's going to be
cool
stoked.
thing.
So that's super cool to be able to do. I don't know. How often does, you can ask your favorite podcaster question and they never answer.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas we answer, I want to say 100% of the questions, maybe not 100, maybe 95%. Some of them
definitely in the 90s.
Yeah, they slip through the cracks a little bit sometimes, but we do try and
if we get
answer.
double up questions, we'll just compile 3 or 4 questions into one. Yeah.
Especially if we do one of those question boxes on Instagram, we definitely get 3 or 4 of the same questions. So we try and just pick one that has a bit more context.
Yeah.
So if you want your questions answered in the new year, guys, send us context. And if you don't have context, don't stress.
Yeah. We will
Keep
still
sending
answer
your question.
Yeah.
But we just love context questions.
Context means we can make it more personalized for you. We can go a little bit deeper rather than just being a generic, broad answer.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my voice this morning, guys. 2 days of talking. Jeez.
She's out of control, guys. I mean, this is kind of the same one, but what listener question stuck with you the most? I find it hard to split between what is coaching and what happened on the podcast. I just like it when listeners are really vulnerable and they're like, hey, this is what I'm struggling with and I just can't work it out. Like, help me.
Yeah, yeah. I do really like that. It is hard when like we get so many DMs and we love them. I love answering them. Yeah, I just love when people have just said like, hey, I've just started listening to the podcast and I've listened to the entire back catalogue in like a couple of
best.
days. Oh my God, they
Also,
make my day.
get a hobby, guys.
And I love when people message and say like, oh, my favorite podcast is out like on my long run. I get to save it for my long run and that was our whole idea with the podcast is that we could, make a podcast that you guys could listen to doing the thing that we're actually talking about.
It was funny because the consultant the producer consultant that we spoke to was like, you guys should shorten your episodes to 30 minutes. Like, we cannot do that. That is unacceptable. If anything, we need to go longer.
Yeah, if anything, our listeners definitely want longer episodes, but
yeah.
I think the hour is definitely
it's a sweet spot.
It's a sweet spot. It's the perfect easy long run. You can listen to it. But yeah, I do love when you guys message and say, thanks so much. The ones like even when I've like shared some of our feedback on the podcast, I've put up, we love our listeners and stuff. Those are so amazing. The reviews. Let me find it. I'm so sorry. I'm like fully losing my voice. Like this one. This is my favorite one. I actually did save it, which is so great. Here we go. So this one, I don't have who it's come from because I always crop out the names, but it says, Beyond the Finish Line podcast has been a huge part of my training this year. I've listened to every single episode, many during long runs when dragging myself out of bed at 4:30 in the morning into sub-zero Canberra air felt impossible. What you and Matt have given a very average runner like myself is phenomenal. I know way more about pacing, nutrition, training zones that I could have ever hoped to know, and I'm far more confident runner as a result. You've even inspired me to work as a teacher. I now start each week with my homeroom class, sharing highs and lows. You can tell Matt it's now definitely a thing. Oh, see, like
I forgot that was making it a thing.
Yeah. Oh, see, that's so sweet.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's the best.
Yeah, like far out. We're so lucky. Like I've got one more for you. It says, what a duo. I have been loving discovering you guys this past week. Thanks for helping my 36K long run pass quicker than ever. My new favorite tune in while running and car trips everywhere. Keep up the great vibes. Oh, so nice.
Yeah, so good. I love how people get our dynamic now. It's like, when we first started, they were like, you guys are so opposite, and now they're like, yeah, they're so opposite.
They're so opposite. That's the thing, right? That's the
oil
stick.
and water. That's it.
Also, like if anyone is like coaching with Matt, and they come to me, they're like, oh, I don't know how to crack Matt or like anything like that. And I'm like, go listen to the podcast because I feel like this is such a perfect insight of who you are as a person as well. Like you really get because over text, it's so hard to like convey emotion.
That's why I send voice notes because I'm so blunt.
Yeah.
They got to hear the affliction in my voice. I can't just be like, go do this.
Go do this. Yeah. So I always say to people, listen to the podcast and you can actually hear Matt talking.
Yeah. I'm not as bad as people think.
No, definitely not.
What topic did you enjoy talking about the most, Georgia? That was unexpected. Unexpected topic.
Oh, I didn't read that. Sydney Marathon.
Just anything about Georgia she loved talking about.
Yeah, pretty much. Who would have thought I'd be so obsessed with Sydney Marathon? Those episodes are my favourite, answering questions. Look, sorry, I didn't read the bit that says than I expected. But
she's just like, me. Anything about me.
I did love the Sydney Marathon ones because for once I felt like I could give some actual insight, which was really nice. Like obviously I come to the podcast and I try to give you guys the most relatable version of questions. And if Matt's talking, I try to be like, hold on, can you remind everyone what threshold is and stuff like that? Yeah. And that's my whole role here, is to bring the light, the airy, the kind of the silly things that you guys might be thinking that I might think is silly, but I know it's not. So yeah, when it came to the Sydney Marathon questions, I was just like, I feel like I can bring something knowledgeable that's helpful to the podcast, but I think that's just me being a little bit stressed.
I think you've also found your feet a lot more in terms of feeling like when you can chime in with like training experience. Like I think at the start you were like, Matt's the coach. I'm just not gonna. I'll ask the question and like I'll just step back. But especially after sub 4, you've definitely been like, I feel like this, and when I do this, this is what I do. And where before you would not take that leap in, and sometimes I'd have to like drag you and be like, what do you think, Georgia? Now you're very like, yeah, when I do interval training, this is what I do, and blah blah blah. Yeah,
that's true. That is true. I think I have a lot more to say now. I also think the past 6 months I've had a really big growth in my life, just like at work and on the podcast. So I feel like I'm bringing that a lot more to the podcast now, whereas I'm more confident in general in my life. So
I think it's like that weight off your shoulders after the sub 4. It's like you've almost a bit of imposter syndrome or something's gone.
Yeah, honestly, the weight off my shoulders has been incredible. I just feel like I'm no longer like, I can't do this, or I don't know if I belong here. Now I'm just like, you know what? There's a space for me and I'm making space.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's kind of what I really enjoyed talking about that I didn't realize I would enjoy so much. In terms of one I didn't expect, I don't really know. It's a tough one. There's been a lot of things that I've really enjoyed recording on here. I think
it's tough because we generally, like we said at the start, we generally only talk about things we're excited about. It's very rare that we'll be like, oh, I have to talk about this.
Yeah, I think the dark side episode again, I really liked that switch. And recently, like, I've really realized that you don't actually have to run marathons if you don't want to. And I think I put so much pressure on myself to run all these marathons and like, oh, go do another marathon, like get the number up, like run heaps of marathons. Whereas now, like we spoke about in a couple of episodes ago, where we say, we're allowed to change our opinions. And I think unexpectedly, I really enjoyed talking about kind of that side where I feel like not really anyone's talking about, the darker side of socials and all of that. So that's definitely something that I would say I've enjoyed.
Yeah, awesome.
How about you?
Mine was, and people who have listened to, I guess, the whole back catalogue will understand this a little bit more. Mine was like, I'm a big proponent of mental health, obviously having dealt with it myself, but it was like finding different ways to talk about it and make it okay to talk about. Sometimes it's like a very touchy subject. Sometimes it's very like, you have to really tiptoe around things to like, so you don't upset people and get your message across. But I felt like towards the end of the year, I really started like, when we did talk about it, I was really able to like get into it and be like, this is what we're talking about and this is why. So yeah, I was really happy with that.
Yeah, and I think you've grown a lot talking about that as well. Episode 1, I still remember we had to be like, oh God, we actually probably should put a bit of a,
trigger warning on it.
Trigger warning on that. So I think you've also learnt a lot in adding those sorts of things in just to make sure that our listeners are okay when they're listening. And that's not something you'd ever have to think about because, on your socials, you're so open and all that kind of stuff. Whereas someone could just be jumping in out of nowhere. And
jumping in raw, yeah.
Yeah. So you've done a really good job, I think, this year of like going, okay, that's probably not appropriate to just jump into. So now you add in your trigger warnings and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I know, proud of you for doing that.
Thanks, mate. What episode do you think people should listen to that flew under the radar?
Oh, I wonder if we'll have the same.
Ooh.
I know.
I've got 3.
3? Oh my gosh. Okay, I've got
cool.
1.
I thought we might pick the same. For a few of them, I thought we might pick the same one. So I've got contingencies.
Okay. Actually, I have 2. I did write 2 down. So my first one is episode 28. And this one is our running terms episode, 15 running terms. Oh, that's
a good one. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Running terms.
Flew under my radar.
as I was saying, 15 running terms.
Matt, shut the fuck up.
This is the episode that if anyone jumps onto the podcast and they're like, oh, I've just started listening, I might make sure you go listen to this episode because we go through all of the different terms like threshold and all of those different things so that when you are listening to the podcast, it all makes sense.
And I think Georgia and I sort of committed to, we're going to do that every year and just sort of revise it, bring it to the top. So then like you guys know every single year, like these are the topics, these are what it means, etc.
Yeah. And also so you're not having to go like right back down through the back catalogue. Now we have 50 episodes. There's just so many.
And we're also
go through.
we get better at explaining things, better at talking about things. We know where to cut shit out. So yeah.
And my other one was episode 37, which was goal setting for the final stretch of the year.
Another good one.
Yeah, I feel like it flew under the radar because there's some really good points in there about, you know, I remember even when I was clipping them for socials, I just remember being like, oh, that's a good nugget to share and stuff. And yeah, you had some really great points about, you know, making sure that you use the last days of the year just like any other time you would instead of going, oh, I start again on January 1. So
do you know what's funny? Like we did that because of we were doing our quarterly for the performance project for Q4, and we set goals for the performance project that were like, hey, if we can finish these by end of financial year 2026, so like June 30, 2026, we'd be pumped. I think we hit, I know we spoke about this in the last episode, but we pretty much hit all of them before Christmas. So it's like, if we had just been like, okay, in January 1st, like we'll start these, we'll start working towards them, like we'd be so far behind, and then we ended up getting it done in like 10 weeks. So
yeah, well, instead of hitting them before Christmas, we probably wouldn't have hit them until February, March. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
goal setting is super helpful. And as we spoke about in the last episode that just went up, you know, even just visually setting things out, your goals for the year. As Matt said, you could have a whole board of goals or things that you've achieved for the year. So yeah, I really think that episode 37 flew under the radar. I think there's some really great nuggets in there, guys, if you want to go back and listen to that again this episode's going to go live just before the end of the year. So you can listen to it for the start of the year.
I mean, it's a great time to listen to it. Yeah. Goal setting in terms of like when you apply it. But yeah, I think it was a good reminder to be like, hey, it's still got 10 weeks left or whatever it was, like get after it.
Yeah. What were your favorites?
My one was that one with Lauren.
Oh, yeah. But I don't feel like that flew under the radar. I feel like that did really well.
No, I feel like it did really well at the start. I feel like it's sort of dropped off because it's so far back in the catalogue.
Oh, yes. Episode 23?
Yep, correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you know it's one of the only episodes I remember the number on for whatever reason.
Yeah. So episode 23, this is our episode with Lauren Nash, the dietitian. She goes through tons of amazing fueling options for you guys. Heaps of the questions that we get from you guys, we compiled into this episode. So guarantee you'll find something in that episode that really resonates with you. So jump on and listen to that. Lauren was absolutely amazing. We're going to try and get her on again next year, even though we don't do co-hosts or anything like that. It's not what you call them. You don't call them co-hosts. Guests. Thank you.
I'm the co-host. Yes.
You're the co-host. I'm the co-host. Although, yes. Yes, we don't do guests. So as much as we have our wonderful Fueled podcast coming, I think it'll be great to have
we'll still have Lauren on once a year or something.
Yeah, we'll get Lauren back on for you guys because it's a different listener. So, yeah, which is exciting. But yeah, episode 23 is the one that Matt's talking about there.
Yeah, and then my other two were, I think it's a reminder, just go and listen to Dark Side. I don't think it flew under the radar, but I do think it was something that everyone should listen to. So if you haven't, go back and do it. And then because George's sub 4 was so popular, and I thought that's what Georgia would be like, hey guys, go listen to sub 4. I was like the polar opposite. Go listen to my recap of failed sub 10.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
Yeah, so I think it's like just that, again, that oil and water, like fire and ice sort of thing, polar opposites.
I also think the sub 10, not sub 10, but not done, I think it was called.
Yep.
I think it was a great episode because a lot of people out there, like myself, like have a couple of cracks at getting a goal and you might not get it. And I've been there. I'm sure if you listen at the start of the year, you'll hear all of my recaps of not getting my sub 4. And I just think that episode where you're talking about not getting your sub 10 is a really great one for people who, have tried to get a goal, or they're in the midst of trying to get a goal and they're feeling super disappointed, but they're wanting some extra motivation to get back out there and give it a crack again.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I picked it, because I was like, I think it's in, as much as we love celebrating the goals, the whole point of endurance sports is that you set goals so big that you fail, and you continue to chip away at it. Like you endure the failure to get the reward. So I think it's an important part of the storyline. Cool. What was your "we can't believe we did this" moment?
Oh, that I got that moment at the Sydney Marathon Run Club that we did.
Okay.
So our first run club, guys, that we put on the podcast, we had, I think, 12 people come, and I reckon
12's generous.
No, I reckon I was going to say half were Performance Project athletes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Who listened to the podcast and came. There was a couple of people who were actual, like, straight up podcast listeners that came. Yeah. And even then we were like, oh, this is so great. Like, these people have come from the podcast, because we only really put it on the podcast. And then when we did it for Sydney Marathon and we had like 200 people sign up, we had around 100 people who came. Obviously, bad timing on our part when we put the actual run club. But hearing people talk about the podcast in real life and being like, oh my God, it's so great to meet you and Matt. I love, listening to the podcast and telling us all about why they listen. Heaps of people I could see going up to you, Matt, and not that I liked seeing you be uncomfortable, but it was just interesting to watch strangers going up to you and asking you questions and stuff about the podcast, which was really, really cool. Just talking to people in real life about the podcast who say, like, I love the podcast, I love listening, I love all the episodes. That, to me, I was like, wow, I can't believe.
That's your element. That's your zone.
Yeah, see, that's me, right? That's just things that I love, is talking to people. And so every time we get a DM, again, where I'm talking to people, that's where I go, holy crap, we're actually doing this. And this is like potentially going to be such a long-term thing, where we were just like, oh, we'll give it 10 episodes and see how we go.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. Like, the amount of DMs I got after that were like, I wanted to come up and talk to you, but I was scared.
Oh, you caught me off guard there.
Scared that you told me to get fucked or something.
Oh my God.
I was just like, I have no issue talking to anyone. I'm just not like I'm not the outgoing. I'm not going to go and talk to other people. Like, if you want to come ask me a question, come ask me a question. Like, I'm so comfortable in that. But I'm just like, I don't know, man.
Oh my God, that's so funny, because you're just, and it's so funny. Every time we do like a meet up with athletes and stuff like that, someone will always say to me, oh, Matt's a lot shyer than I thought he'd be. And I was like,
I'm a massive introvert.
Which
is because I do social media and I do a podcast and all the things. But yeah, I'm a massive introvert.
Yeah, every time someone will say, oh, he's way shyer, I'm kind of a bit nervous to go up and talk to him. I'm like, nah, don't be. Just go up, make him nervous.
Yeah, I love talking to people.
Yeah.
The thing how do you deal with this, Georgia? I'm interested. Where people come up to you. This happens at Ironmans quite a lot for me. Mostly because most of my following is from triathlon. People come up to me and they talk to me like we're best friends, but I don't even know their name. They'll come in, they'll like almost jump in like mid-topic, mid-sentence, being like, don't know to say I follow you, don't introduce themselves, they're just straight into it, and you're like, I don't even know who the fuck you are, like what the fuck's going on? I'm sure you get that.
I get people coming up to me. I had one the other day, came up to me in the street. She was on a Lime bike, bless her, listens to the podcast. Hey, how you going? Thanks for listening. She came up to me on a Lime bike, and it seriously made my day. But everyone always says to me, hey, I follow you on Instagram, or they'll say Georgia runs a marathon, or they'll mention the podcast, so I know kind of where they're coming from. Everyone talks to me like we're besties, which I love, but I go with it. I go with the energy. I'm just like, hey, like, oh my gosh, thanks so much for like watching or listening or whatever. I'm like, what's your name? And then I always go like, oh my gosh, I should follow you on socials. I always follow them back on socials. But no one would ever really come up to me and be just like chat to me out of the blue. And if they did,
it's like my default is like they just start mid conversation. I'm like, and then I'm like, did we talk on DMs? Did we like I'm trying to work out like how I know them, and then I'm just like, I got nothing.
Yeah, no,
And
no
turns
one.
into this awkward experience, which kind of leads into my Matt is awkward in social situations.
Yeah, no, everyone always says to me like, oh my gosh, I've been following you for ages, or I can't imagine what it's like if you've got 100,000 followers, because
Oh,
like I
yeah.
have between 10 and 20,000 across, like, or 30,000 across platforms. And I get people almost every day will come up to me and say something like, or they'll message me and be like, I saw you in the city or something. Like, oh, someone said to me the other day, they were like, hey, Georgia, saw you today in the city, like in the food court. You looked really frazzled. Are you okay? I was like, fuck, of course I'm going to see someone when I look like absolute shit. It was like such a busy day at work, and I was like really quickly running to get a drink and in between like clients and stuff. And I would have looked so frazzled. And my problem is I have like a resting bitch face. So they probably just thought I was angry at the world, whereas I'm actually super nice. So I felt so bad. But yeah, no one's ever really just come up to me and being like, so this, because
Maybe it's a guy thing.
one, it could be a guy thing, and two, it could just be a coach thing. If they're asking you coaching kind of questions.
No. So in Ironman, I very, very rarely get asked coaching questions. Like,
oh, okay.
they're like, hey, straight into like, because I normally only see them at races. It'd be like they're straight into like how the race went or how I'm feeling before the race, and I'm like, have we spoke? Like, it's just like a very intense, very straight into it, because they've obviously followed the whole sub 10 journey for however long. And then they're like straight into it. So anyway, it just might just be a guy thing.
Nah, just, you know what you got to do? You just got to get into it. Just match their energies. That's what I do. If someone's like full, like, how you feeling? I'm like, oh, I'm feeling great. You know,
It's not
you
me,
just got to
bro.
go along with it.
I'm just like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. My whole mantra is like, one, it's always so hard to go up to someone and say something if you like admire them or like you follow them on socials. That's always really hard. And two, like, you just kind of never know what someone's going through. And I'm sure you don't, like, you do this already, but I always just kind of go, this could be their only interaction, or this could be their one chance to like talk to me, and this is the impression I leave. So I always just try and match that same bubbly energy that I have online. I don't want to be the person in person who's just like, yeah, hey, like, thanks, awkward, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I know you don't do that, but sometimes that's what I do. I just match the energy, and I'm just like, okay, cool, like, let's follow each other. So unless like they say they follow me and then I go to follow them and they don't follow me, and I'm like, what? Because I think, you see someone in your feed a fair bit and you don't realize you don't actually follow them.
Yeah, it happens all the time, yeah.
Cool. Perfect. What's the next one?
You didn't even ask me what my answer was, Georgia.
Oh, sorry. I thought you'd already answered
It's all about Georgia.
It is all about me. Welcome to my podcast, guys. We've said this quite a few times. Yeah. Matt's just he's the ring-in. He's the side hustle. Sorry, Matt. What was your we can't believe this is our job moment? We got a bit sidetracked there for a second.
When we went top 10 on the Apple charts for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I still don't believe that that's true. So I think
we did it for like multiple weeks. Oh, we're still there, but we did it for our first stint. We did like a month, top 10 in the charts. And that was our Sydney Marathon month. Yeah, that was, I think we got as high as 5th or 6th. Yeah. And then I think we got to 4th on the Spotify charts as well. So that was a weird moment, being like, because when you see the company that you're in, like the podcasts that have been going for a few years, huge social media followings from like the host or two hosts, big guests on, and we're like, oh, it's just Georgia and I recording from our spare bedrooms, and we're hanging with the big dogs.
I know, yeah. When you send those through to me, I'm like, I need to see it in person because
yeah, I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
Matt's photoshopped it.
I know. I would love to. I think my big goal is to, on the Spotify one, the one where you can actually go onto the Spotify website and it comes up under health and fitness. I'd love to be top spot in health and fitness. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people in that category.
Yeah. I think it's really cool, and it's just a nod to us and everything that we preach in terms of if you are consistent, if you are diligent, if you work hard, and if you just continue to do the thing over and over and over again, like you will get the results. Yeah. Granted, it happened very, very quickly. Like we didn't even think people would listen, let alone get on the charts.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
The fact that we were just you took over socials, I took over the podcast in terms of editing and distribution and everything. And we're just like, we're just going to do this. We're just going to work on the show notes. We're going to work on the clips, and we'll keep investing and investing. And like, we got there. It's like, imagine what we're going to do in 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows, guys? Maybe we'll be at the podcasting awards.
Maybe.
One day.
Cool. What? 2 more to go. What's one thing about the podcast that evolved this year?
I love this question. I think our listenership has really evolved, which is really
that's
cool.
a good answer.
Yeah, we kind of went from the people listening were kind of, I guess, people coming across from our own personal socials.
Mm-hmm.
So that whether they've come across from Georgia Runs a Marathon or the Sub 10, I feel like now our listenership is some of that, some people who've just organically found us, or people who just like, I started listening to the podcast and then they start following us. I think that's really grown this year.
I like that one. I like when they come from the podcast and then go to socials or go to
Yeah.
Performance Project or whatever. I think that's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, so many people have come from the podcast and now they're training with Matt, which I think is really cool. So we never, ever started this podcast with the idea that it was going to, help out the business or anything like that. I wasn't even part of the business. And at the start, I think I was like, well, Matt, if you want to have like ad space, like you have to pay for ad space.
I have to pay us.
Yeah, you have to pay us ad space. And we did one, and then I was like, we're never doing that again.
I think we both said that. We're like, this episode is brought to you by the Performance Project. And as we said it, we're like, nope.
Gag. In my mouth, gag.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, next year we hope we can get some sponsors on. It would mean it would really help us out. But again, it just, I think the podcast...
I think we're in saying that, yes, like I'd love us to do some sponsors and make some money from this so we can like reinvest it and potentially make the podcast better. But we're in this really cool position with how the Performance Project is growing, and the Performance Project funds this podcast, where we can be kind of selective with who we want to work with. So we can really just decide, like, only if a brand is going to benefit our listeners and they kind of want to match our energy and what we want to do.
Yeah.
It's like we don't have to take them on. So we do have some cool plans, guys, in terms of how we're going to make the podcast better next year. Obviously, if we would get sponsors, that would speed that up. But we do have some cool stuff coming.
Yeah, we do, definitely. So listenership, I just can't believe we have so many listeners. I also cannot believe we have 375 top listeners from the Spotify podcast charts that came out from the Wrapped. I think that has grown so much. Honestly, if you had have said to me at the start of the year how many top listeners, I would have said 1, and actually no, 2, myself and Ryan. That would have been
Ryan.
It would have been our top.
Ryan would
listeners.
have been the top listener for sure. He would have outdone you. Yeah,
for sure.
No
He
questions.
100% would have outdone me. And if we're going to give an award out to someone for being the number 1 listener, it is Ryan. He gets 0.5 of all top listeners. He listens to every episode a couple of times, which we love. And I think that has grown so much because 375 people choose us to be their number 1 podcast for the entire year. And then not only that, we didn't even get the stats of how many people we were 2, 3, or 4 for. So I think it's absolutely incredible how much that's grown.
And saying that too, like top podcast for the year, and the first 10 to 15 episodes were a tough listen.
Yeah. Tough listen. Matt,
go back and listen to them.
Yeah. What was your thing about the podcast that you thought evolved the most?
Us.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Me.
I think. Yep.
No,
just us,
you.
like,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I think you. Granted, I had done a podcast previously, and I think I'd done 20 or so episodes of that, maybe 30. So I had a little bit of more of a head start than you, but like how much you've grown in the 12 months has been massive. Like from just getting you to agree to the idea of potentially maybe recording one day to now you're like, when are we recording? What are we talking about? How do we make it better? And it's like, it's night and day.
Yeah, night and day. And I also think, as much as I joke that it's, podcast all about me, I think you've grown a lot in being like more open with your answers, like just how much, like even just how you convey yourself across the podcast, you've grown a lot. Yeah, you and I,
That's
we don't.
something I am very happy you said, Georgia. That's something I work on a lot, is like my
Yeah,
ability to articulate my thoughts. Because obviously when someone says I get asked a question, I've got to like go through the Rolodex and I could just talk for ages. And I just want to be like, how do I get this out in 30 seconds?
yes. And actually, guys, if you're an OG listener, you'll remember this. I think Matt has grown a lot in the fact that he no longer waits with dead silence for him to ask me how my week was. And I don't have to sit there in awkward silence waiting for him to ask me
Do you
and
know
then
what?
joking about it.
Do you know what's funny, Georgia? It's still like a super conscious thought. I'm like, okay, don't forget to ask her. Don't forget to ask her. It's still now. Like, otherwise I will just be like, what are we talking about? Like, it won't even cross my mind to ask you. I'm like, don't forget to ask.
Ask. No, I can tell because sometimes I look at you and you're like dead silent. I'm like, Matt, hurry up and ask. Hurry up and ask.
Do you know what? Me asking you your highs and lows is like you doing the intro. I like overthink it. I'm like, don't forget to ask. Don't forget to ask. And then it's been like 10 seconds. I'm like, I'm not breathing.
Even now, I still run out of breath. Like, Georgia, breathe. Oh, dear. All right. Last question, Matt.
Last question from the 2025 Wrapped episode. What are you most proud of?
Oh, love this. Getting all emotional. I'm proud of our consistency, which is what I've written down here.
Mm-hmm.
I said we never missed a weekly drop, and I think we have only missed one Wednesday, maybe. Maybe there was one episode that came out on a Thursday, which meant that we spent all of our Monday afternoons recording, no matter what. If we couldn't do a Monday afternoon, we were doing a Tuesday morning or we're doing a Tuesday night, just so, you guys had your podcast during the week. That was so important to us. And, we always made sure, even if we were exhausted, like Matt's Cosy 100, he was absolutely wrecked. He still got on the microphone and recorded. I flew back in from London, and the day we flew back in from Europe, like I was on the mic.
You were on the pod
recording.
like 6 hours after the flight.
Yeah, I look wrecked in all of that YouTube videos, but we made sure we showed up for you guys because at the end of the day, this podcast is about endurance sports, which is all about consistency. And that's been our mantra for the year, is like, we are going to be consistent for you so you guys can be consistent in your training.
Yeah, mine was pretty much the same. It was just our consistency and our commitment to excellence for the year. It's like we would only do what we believed in. We didn't go for clickbait. We didn't go like, this is a trending topic. We're just like, what do we want to do? What do we think we can do well? And let's just do it every single week. And we did that for a whole year. And we talk about it all the time. Like, if you were just consistent for something for a year, look at how much progress you can make, whether that is your running, whether that is your cycling, swimming, work, career, social media, like podcast. It's just, if you're just consistent for an extended period of time and don't get hung up on needing to see results immediately, you can do really, really awesome things.
Yeah, I agree. And we've never, as I just want to touch on, like, as Matt just said, we've never jumped on the podcast being like, all right, we need to hit X, Y, Z topics to make sure that they go viral on social media. We always clip stuff from our raw conversations. We've never purposely put sentences in that are really,
we don't
inspirational.
Do talking points, nothing.
So that's so true. We don't really do talking points. I mean, today we've written down our questions so we don't forget them, but we've just been ourselves and we've been authentically us because we want you guys to feel comfortable talking to us and we want to be your mates in endurance sport. So you guys have been on the journey with us from big highs to big lows, and we're so proud of that. And I love that we've really made an effort for you guys, and I hope that you've enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I think it's just been a wild year, and like to try and put it all into one episode is like, it's tough. It's just a weird thing to try and remember everything and then also convey what you felt and how it made you feel at different times. But yeah, like I said, it's been an awesome year.
Yeah, it really has. And as much as I'd love to replay the first episode, and we always joke about the first episode, I'm not going to. But, if you really want to see how much we've grown, go back and listen to the first couple of episodes or, just flick through them, see what you think. But, you guys have been the backbone of this podcast and we wouldn't be able to do it without you, because if you didn't listen every week and we couldn't see the stats of you guys listening, like, it would be really hard to show up every week. But we do it for you and your DMs and your reviews you send us and the reviews you leave us is so, so important to us. So we're
Massively.
so grateful for that. That's like honestly the best part. And, you know, every time you share it with a friend, that's another person who can learn all about our podcast. So yeah, hopefully in 2026, we can bring you guys some epic episodes. And as I said before, if you've got any ideas you want us to talk about, like, please let us know.
Yeah. Same with listener questions. Like a lot of listener questions turn into episodes. So I would encourage you guys to do as many listener questions as possible.
Yes, seriously, that's so true, because a lot of the time, like, someone will send in a big listener question and we're like, that could be a whole episode. So you get like way more out of your listener question. So you just never know. But yeah, any last words, Matt, for the year?
Do we have any final listener questions or?
Let me have a quick look. We did have a couple. Sorry, guys.
Let's just pick one or two that we'll finish the year on.
Oh, see, I was like, we've done all our listener questions, but then I remember we had a couple come in last night. Sorry, I've got to go through these now. This is a good question, I think. Thoughts on a carb drink like Tailwind instead of Joel's for a longer run than 90 minutes?
Yeah, perfect. No issues.
No issue.
Go for it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick just took one on his ride just now. It's the first time I've seen him take one.
Cyclists do it all the time.
Do they? Like, just chuck it in their bottle. I guess it's easier if you've got a bottle, but you could take a soft flask.
Yeah, Powerade's a bottle, like a carb drink. Like, you can have that.
Okay, that one was from Steph. Hopefully that helps. Sorry, it was so short.
It's a simple answer. Yeah, no issues. Just make sure the carbs match up.
There you go. Make sure that's handy. Question from Rachel. As a coach, what's the most common piece of advice you give your athletes?
Slow down.
Yeah.
Easy runs easy, hard runs hard.
Okay, love it. We answered that one on yesterday's episode. This is a nice, easy one. Can you ever spend too much time in zone 2?
Nope.
Never too much time. Unless you want to get faster, you can't, if you're spending all of your runs.
Yeah, you need to balance it, but like there is no, like you've done too much zone 2. Yeah.
Okay.
You can do zone 2 training for forever.
Okay. One last question from Orla. It says, do you think it's possible to train for a high rocks and a half marathon sub 2 hour at the same time?
Yeah, it's actually something I do with most of my higher end high rocks athletes at the moment is we pretty much put them through a half marathon block, like a really high intensity half marathon block. The running is actually really, really equivalent. I know it's only 8Ks in high rocks, but when you take into consideration the compounding effect or the fatigue effect from high rocks, the fatigue and lactate levels are very, very similar to a half marathon. So I would say it's actually the best complementary training.
Perfect. So good. I didn't realize how far it was in high rocks. So that's
8Ks, yeah.
8Ks. God, brutal. I don't know how anyone does that, but hey, here we are. Maybe one day.
All right, and we're live. This is the inaugural episode of the Beyond the Finish Line podcast. It is a working title. We're still trying to work out.
It wasn't a working title. We nailed it.
What to do with this thing, but we were sick of talking about it, so we just thought we'd record an episode and jump in. My name's Matt. I'm with my lovely and talented co-host Georgia. How you doing, Georgia?
See how nice I was?
I'm good. How are you, Matt?
Very well, very well. I think for this
We're
first
off to a
episode,
flying start.
it'd be cool if we just sort of explain the genesis of the idea and just sort of like what we think we want to do with the podcast. We're still not 100%.
I'm going to stop
We're
it there.
still
Guys,
not 100% sure. We're so unsure of ourselves.
yeah, we're just working it out. Well, to be fair, I wasn't sure if Georgia was going to record one episode and be like, this is the worst decision ever. I'm never doing it again.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Was hurting my soul to listen to. I was cringing in my seat, my cheeks.
Just then, that's the first time I've listened to it since editing it.
Same.
Yeah.
That's the first time since I actually listened to it start of the year. Oh my gosh. Everything was working idea, working title. We were like, we'll just get on and do it and it'll evolve, which it has.
I mean, the title didn't.
The title didn't. We had a couple of ideas floating around, which I was looking at the other day, but this was definitely the best one out of all of them. Yeah, there was, and it was Matt's idea. Let's put that out there. Matt came up with the idea. Yeah, you had the name written. It was like a group of 10 different names that Look,
Thank you,
probably
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. He said the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Well, oh my gosh, guys, 50 episodes. Thank you so much for listening. I cannot believe that little old us we want to get to 10 episodes, and here we are at 50. It is the last episode of the year. Thank you so much for listening. If you're not already following us on Instagram, head over there and follow us at, oh my God, Beyond the Finish Line _podcast. And that's not even what it is. It's Beyond the Finish Line _pod. I've completely lost the plot at the moment.
It's okay, Georgia.
Head over to wherever you get your podcast and make
Only
sure
Ryan's listening now.
like, subscribe, download, share it with a friend. I'm so sorry. That's the first time I've ever bungled the end of that up. I'm normally amazing.
Is bungled the word?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's the word.
I thought you
I'm
might
going
have
with it.
bungled the bungle.
We're losing the plot, guys.
All right, guys. Hooroo.
Hooroo. Bye.